Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 455
455
of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. The Epcot Festival of the International Festival of the Arts is just around the corner, starting on January 13th. And Disney Cruise Line also had announced the silver anniversary of Sea for next summer. Plus, they even were talking today about the Pixar Day at Sea, which is also coming up in January. I think it's like January 7th. So check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel if any of that appeals to you, and they can give you a no obligation quote.
So we're going to start off this week's show at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It was our first visit here to the studios with the holiday decor.
And so we're looking at Daisy. It's nice to me that the characters still have some, distanced greetings so that, all guests can enjoy them. I would prefer seeing, Daisy does have a scarf on, but wouldn't it be nice if she had like an actual costume, like
a full Christmas outfit, you mean?
Yes, like, at Disneyland, how they have that. At least she has a scarf.
It is very nice. I mean, really, look at the back. You have a classic Santa. I mean, the decorations here are perfect fit for Daisy. And again, more classic Christmas holiday decorations here on Echo Lake.
Well, Echo Lake is my favorite area of Disney's Hollywood Studios for the holidays. You have Gertie with the Santa hat, and then also the ornaments and the deer. The deer always look a little scared to me. Like, I'm not sure if they're scared of Gertie, not all the
These
deer,
are the
that
kind of
other
things
deer
that my grandmother used to have.
And
I feel
deer.
like that. No, classic stuff, like classic decorations. And she certainly didn't have a giant Gertie in the backyard with a Santa hat.
You sure?
But that does make for a good story. And we'll take a look at this briefly also after dark because everything looks even nicer lit up. One of our first things we saw was Chip and Dale in their holiday outfits with the little caps and scarves, of course. Anybody is holiday if you give them a scarf. I say that every year.
And I actually thought this was super fun. The Chip and Dale are just really playing with each other, and they pretend to throw snowballs, and they have their gifts.
Shaking their gifts, and then they actually open them and, show what each of them has. Little chipmunk gifts in there, so very nice.
And I've seen also where they have sometimes like a picnic set up, or maybe they do different things,
And I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little snowball fight going on there.
That's what I just mentioned. That's something I thought that was really fun. Like, at one point they kind of bumped it off the nose.
Right. So I wanted to include that. But as you said, it was fun. It was, you can't get right up to them. So in a way, it's kind of distant, but a closer distance.
Well, it's a distant in that, guests can see them, but it's not like a line. So you're not really meeting them,
right?
But you're getting to watch the fun that unfolds.
And look up in the sky, you can see it is snowing. A beautiful Florida day, but there is actually snow coming down, and that just means only one thing. It is time for the Santa Claus Motorcade.
And we had, I was going to say we have not seen this Santa Claus Motorcade since last year. I don't think it's changed very much. You have the elves, and you have here Pluto and the reindeer, and usually you just see the reindeer over at the Magic Kingdom, so it's a nice addition to this Santa Claus Motorcade. And then here comes Santa himself. This happens a number of times per day, and you can find the time in the app.
What I think, what I like about this is, if you want to see it numerous times, there is time to get from the beginning of the parade route to the end, and we put that to the test a couple of times. But I like this area. I'm showing it again just to kind of show, I like the snow. I like the whole, it really works in this Hollywood Boulevard area with the snow coming down.
Well, we enjoyed it because the first two Mickey's Very Merry Christmas parties, we didn't see any snow. Right?
Because they were rainy.
Right,
rainy. They don't do the snow on a rainy party.
Right, because of the whole hurricane situation that was going on. So this was the first time we had seen snow for the holidays at the parks.
And I wanted to mention, we just saw Pluto there, and Pluto has his reindeer ears on, kind of joining his reindeer friends. So that was very nice. And one last look at Santa Claus himself. This is from the other side, and even his vehicle here is fully set for Santa. So
That's because Santa's in it. So I didn't find it that busy along the route. I know it looks sort of busy, but there was plenty of spots, even last second.
And you can see Toy Story Land is fully decorated for the holidays with Woody's big scarf there. And you can see some holiday trimmings. And we're seeing some of the characters. Here is Buzz Lightyear. He has a Santa Claus hat on.
Right. They all have,
Their little
essentially flourishes.
Flair, as one would say.
Yes, if that's what you want to say. The line was really long for him on this day, and for Woody, and especially for Woody. Yes,
and Jessie.
Right. And Jessie, I don't think was with Woody when we originally saw him. So there was a long line, and we went over toward the fence so that we could at least just get a walk by.
A quick walk by. That is always a good alternative if you just want to get a quick glimpse at the characters.
We waited a long time, 15 to 20 minutes
they
probably.
Were in there longer than expected. And also the Green Army Men, they have a performance that has recently restarted, and here they are going by. Also
very popular. So it was nice to see the decorations in Toy Story Land back, the characters and their holiday flourishes here. So we call them the Jingle Bells because they used to have a postcard on one of the trees that showed these characters, and they're normally red.
Didn't it
and
call
green.
them the Jingle Bells?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It called them Bells, Belles.
Right, Bells.
And usually they're the green and red and green, kind of like a Minnie Mouse.
But
type
they're
of
kind
a thing.
of rocket
yes.
bells there, and now they're gold with 50 for 50th
Currently.
anniversary.
But hopefully next year we'll see them back in their usual form, but that's always an iconic thing in the window.
And you just saw Echo Lake at night, very beautiful, everything lit up, and here is Dinosaur Gertie. You could see, especially at night, you could see her smoke coming out of her nose there, and of course the Santa Claus hat is in full force.
I can't really see the smoke, but I see
carefully.
the eyes.
See this? Do you not see?
Oh, a little bit.
Carefully?
I see
there it is.
Those glowing eyes. So Sunset Season's Greetings also back this year. This is you have the projections on the Tower of Terror or Hollywood Tower Hotel, and there's Pixar theme. There's a variety of different themes. Also Muppets.
Yeah, I think there's a total of 4. There's a Frozen version. There's a Mickey. Maybe there's 5. There's a classic Mickey version.
I thought there was 4. I don't remember. But it's a Yuletide projection show. And if you stand here, you get a variety of different shows.
So on the night that we were there, we were also seeing Fantasmic. And we had not seen Fantasmic yet with the new edition. So,
I had.
Well, you had, but it rained, so you didn't see the full show.
I had gotten through the new hero scenes, but no, not the full show, because then it started pouring, and I ended up
really pouring, right?
Really pouring, and I ended up in the parking lot for an hour waiting for it.
And
to
I was
go
out
away.
of town, unfortunately, at the time, so I didn't see it at all. So this was all new to me. And you mentioned the hero scene. We're about to see some highlights of that, starting off with a quick little bit with Pocahontas, but then it goes into a Mulan segment that we're looking at here.
Right. It's heroic moments from Disney films, including Mulan, Pocahontas, Frozen 2, and Moana. And there were also upgrades to the projections, the lighting, the audio. It really looks great. I have not seen Fantasmic a lot through the years, every so often.
Right.
But I thought it looked really good.
I've always preferred the Disneyland Anaheim Fantasmic, but this Fantasmic at the studios I like because it's the more comfortable. You actually have a seat, and if you're going to wait for a long time, it's better than waiting on the ground, which can be very uncomfortable.
And usually we just stand, for the Fantasmic at Disneyland, but a lot of times we just skip it because...
Or remember, we would buy those expensive packages, and in the package you sit on the ground.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I like getting the dining package when they've had them. I don't know if they have the dining package right now at Disneyland.
I don't know about Disneyland, but they recently started with the dining package here at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Okay,
and it was very popular. I guess it sold out right away.
But Disneyland, we usually would watch it either with FastPass when they had it, or the dining package.
So you mentioned the hero scene. We're looking at just a few more little clips of that. This was the Frozen 2 segment, and there is Elsa doing her big number. And I think my favorite part of all is coming up, and that would be Moana. I like how Moana actually goes
Goes in the
out
water.
into the water. I mean, that's really cool. And, she does her big song. So really, really a nice segment there.
And my favorite was the Mulan segment.
Yeah, well, the Milan, that was we saw that recently.
I'll make a man out of you.
Yeah, that was really good. Strong stuff. Now, as far as getting in to Fantasmic, it is very popular. Right now, there's currently 2 shows. I would recommend the second
Is
show.
it still 2 shows?
It
Because they
is.
were going to go down to 1.
Well, they were testing a second. Right now, they're doing 2 shows, but that could be for the holiday season. So if there's 2 shows, then I would say
Go
the
to the
second
second
show
one.
would be the advisable one. Or if you can get a dinner package, get the dinner package. I mean, when we were going into the show, it was kind of it was very crowded. You were having a little trouble because it was just so crowded just entering the theater.
Well, there was a bottleneck in one area, and that was that was hard. But it's not always necessarily going to be like that.
So we're just kind of looking at some other scenes. This is one of my favorite scenes. I'm showing some close-ups of the witch here from Snow White. It reminds me of the Disneyland Paris witch, but not quite as
Well, the
you know.
Disneyland Paris witch was live action.
Well, this is live too. Very manic.
No, I
It
mean-
doesn't get more lively than this.
No, I mean, you know what I mean, like a live person, witch.
And here is the finale. And just yesterday, there was a new addition to the finale. Do you know who that was?
I have no idea.
Mirabelle. Just
Oh.
started yesterday.
I feel like I saw it for a second that was the case, and I don't even remember why I saw it.
I just saw it on Twitter of all places. So anyway, we'll have to go back and see it again so we can see Mirabelle as in the finale.
But
here.
we'll go back again, at some point.
I mean, there's already so many characters, including new characters. So
They should bring in Raya then as well.
I think Raya would be a great fit.
Of course.
And we should mention Raya is now appearing in the cavalcade at the Magic Kingdom.
Right, and I think we've shown.
I don't think
no?
did we show that? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
It's been so much.
It's been at least a couple of weeks since then. I'm tired.
Right.
But Maribel and Raya are in the Magic Kingdom. For the cavalcade.
So anyway, that was Fantasmic, and we had a great time at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And one last look at the help me
Theater.
out. The Chinese theater.
We're both a little tired
That's
today.
right. And
It's been a lot.
now we're at Disney's Animal Kingdom, though. For more Christmas festivities, we're going to take a look at the tree. As you mentioned, just like at the studio with the decorations, the tree hasn't really changed. It looks like it has for the last number of years.
It's not as pretty a day out as it was at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
But we're going back to Animal Kingdom tomorrow, and it should be a nicer blue sky.
I forgot.
Day, I hope. So
I
you
forgot
forgot we're
we're
going
doing
back
that.
tomorrow?
Well, if we have time. We have a pretty full day tomorrow.
We have a lot of full days.
Yes, we
coming
do.
up. But and here we have Eeyore, and again all the same characters that we have seen. But I think that it is still a beautiful tree. Here we are, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and you have the Christmas holiday decorations going on.
And so we're heading in, and one of my favorite aspects of the holiday season at any of the 4 parks is a Merry Menagerie. Merry Menagerie started maybe like 3 years ago, and what it is puppets with puppeteers. So you've got music. It's really like here you can see a steel drum, a drummer. I just think it's really fun, and it's interactive, and guests just love it.
I love this. I also love it. It is just delightful. You can enjoy it as much or as little as you want, which is very nice. But the music, it as you said, you have live musicians going on with the drums and the violins who are walking around interacting. And you can actually touch and pet, as you see the kids are touching. But we do that. Like, we'll come up, there'll be a seal. I will touch the seal. I will pet these characters. And they become alive. They're very skilled. The puppeteers are very skilled. And I love the penguins. And then there's that one big penguin. And sometimes, see, you got the little penguins can be chasing you around at times. I've been chased by those penguins.
And, I don't pet all of them, but every so often, especially a penguin will come up, and I'll just put my hand in. I won't even think about it.
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very, and it's so nice that it's like they're alive. I love it. And they have plush versions of these. We'll
Yes.
have to I just saw recently.
I think they had them last year, but sometimes, like, while you were getting a little video, I already had my photos, and, I just like to sit and listen to the music. Just the whole area is very nice.
Yeah, it's very perfect for Animal Kingdom for
And
the holidays.
penguins are my favorite, especially the little penguins as they run them around. And one of the cast member performers, was really just like really running those two little penguins around.
And I think we're going to see the this is one of my favorites. The seal, yes. I think I do pet the seal, and I have a serenade going on right there in close proximity. So yes, I do like the seal. We should mention that there's usually two sets of characters, different animals. So if there's a certain one that you want to see, if you hang around about 20 minutes, that's probably the longest you'd wait. And they'll switch out the characters, so you'll get different ones. Like you're not always going to see the penguins or the birds or the deer.
When I showed up while you were on the phone, I don't think the penguins were out, and I don't know if it's two sets. Like it may have been several. Like as they were coming out, a different mix.
Okay.
So it was really you can just hang out there and see who shows up.
So after that, we decided to check out the Festive Flotillas, and probably the best place if you want to see all the flotillas easily in a comfortable area is where they used to have the shows on the lagoon here.
Well, it's the Discovery River Theater where they've had kite tails and Rivers of Light. None of that is going anymore. But this isn't the best place to see them. There's an area that we like on the way to Pandora better. But
Under the bridge. If you want to get a selfie and see them up close, that is the very best place.
But it was very busy on this day. So it was like, let's just hang out here and we can see them here. And here is Launchpad and Scrooge McDuck, who, I don't know, I think that they are meeting now in, what?
Oh, I was just pointing out, there is Scrooge.
Jeff is pointing
there's Scrooge
to something
on the boat, and there's money bags hanging down from the boat.
I
had never
hadn't even
noticed that. And I edited this, and I
Yes.
didn't notice. I love that. There is Scrooge himself, and Scrooge's money bags helping weight down the boat. Very nice.
We need to head to Dinoland and see what characters are there. But, this was a busy day. Like right now, this week, I don't think the parks are too busy. But on this week it was.
The Discovery Island drummers came out at full force. Look at how fast they're going, and they're playing really fast drums. But they were there and gone before you knew it. I thought that was pretty funny.
But they also come back, so everybody comes back. So you see them going one way, and then you see them coming back the other way. And normally we would sit closer to where they're floating out. Float like right here.
Right.
That's the best spot to me in the theater to see them at.
Except for there's a fence in the way sometimes.
Probably the fence is not as good.
And there is Santa Claus himself, and he has a decorated flotilla there. And you mentioned before, we just noticed how on Scrooge's, Santa has all sorts of reindeer and things that kind of go along with him. So I thought that was very nice.
Well, we're usually not right up on them, so my eyesight's not such that, I can see all the little details, except, having the camera helps.
So we mentioned about how they go around. I'm just kind of showing now the other angle quickly. We're looking at Launchpad and Scrooge, and you can see the money bags on that side of the boat as well. But again, you're getting to see two angles of them if you wait around.
This is a great angle, but I don't see anything that is about Launchpad. It's all about Scrooge.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If I was Launchpad, I'd be like...
But Launchpad is driving, though. He is driving the boat.
He's not driving. He's just standing there.
That's a steering wheel. Is that not his steering wheel?
No.
Although the guy in the back, he has help, too.
The cast member is driving
That's
him.
the captain. That would be the boat captain, probably. All right, let's see who I have next. Okay, and once again, we have Mickey and we have Pluto. This is the 50th anniversary flotilla, and it's singing the 50th song.
But you have Pascal on the front, so I'm looking for all the, if there's anything of interest. Mickey is in his kind of
his safari gear.
Well, kind of a holiday, right, with the red.
Oh yeah,
and then
Pluto has a scarf.
Yes,
of course.
But I don't see any. It just says 50th. It's like a 50th anniversary.
But that was the only one that didn't have Christmas music playing.
Right.
That actually had the 50th theme song. And one last look at Santa Claus there with his his excitement and his flotilla.
I mean, if you're looking to kind of get out of the way, but also watch the flotillas, this is a really good place to do it.
Now, you had mentioned Dino Land. On this day, we didn't have enough time to fully go into Dino Land, but we did take a look. This is one of my favorite parts with the dinosaur with the Santa hat, and especially at night, you can see all those fiber optics really glowing and changing colors. It's really beautiful, and you can still see a little bit of the flickering here during the day.
And we need to go, at some point where it's like later in the day, meaning, and at night at this point means like 5:30 p.m.
Right, after dark.
Yes, 5:30 starts getting dark. So I had been invited to WDI at Walt Disney World to learn more about Tiana's Bayou adventure. And Disney released a lot of information. I don't want to say a lot, but some of what we had heard. It was really fun to be able to meet a couple of the Imagineers and also just kind of learn a little bit more about it. The Tiana's Bayou adventure is supposed to open on both coasts in late 2024. Splash Mountain is closing January 23rd, 2023 here at Walt Disney World, although they didn't have a date for Disneyland.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to ask you that, if they announced when Disneyland's would close.
And so the one thing about Tiana's Bayou adventure that I thought was interesting that we learned was just about the characters, and that concept designer Laura West created them, but she also consulted with animator Eric Goldberg, who designed Lewis. There's going to be all these cute little new characters that you can see here, and I even asked about that license plate, but
there was no reference, you said, to the license plate.
I was told by one of the Imagineers that it didn't mean anything.
But this was the new art that just was released a few days ago, and those are some of those new characters that you're talking about. So that'll be exciting when this opens in about 2 years.
And I have an article on Mousesteps about it if you want to go check it out.
And we also went one more time, third time, to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Last time of the year. And we're just going to quickly show some of those highlights. First, we met the Pooh characters in their Christmas outfits, and we lined up at about 5:30, and they came out at about 6:40. They were just a few minutes later than I expected, but we were close to the front of the line, so we got to meet them in the first set, and we were done before the party even started. So it was great. They're very good. 4 great characters.
And the line was extremely long when we passed by it later at the party.
Oh yeah, like hours long it looked like.
I don't want to say, I mean, it could have been an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's hard to tell, but we waited a while, but it's good to have it done by the time.
Good to have a plan, and we got the free autograph cards, which I'm not showing at this time, but it's what it is just the honey pot, and all the 4 characters signed it.
Right.
Similar to the Halloween one.
Because they don't sign autographs, just as Jack and Sally don't. And when they've had the 7 Dwarves, they also used to have the autograph card.
So after we were walking through Fantasyland, after meeting the Pooh characters, I noticed there was this little area off in the darkness with a short line. So I figured maybe that would be a good one. Maybe we'll get one more meet and greet, because I could tell it was going to be a crowded night. And I'm glad we got in that line, because we were able to meet Belle here in her Christmas dress with very, very short wait. And I tell you, I could tell by the time we left that line, it was also very long. So as soon as they have the bright lights on and people can see that she's there, it really...
Was there a bright light?
Yeah, well, see the lighting in the background?
Oh.
So, I mean, the other guests could tell that there is a meet and greet going on. But at first, it was in the darkness, so I'm glad we did that. So that was our tip. Then we went on the People Mover at night, which is really great during the party, because not only are you able to see some highlights of 2 of the Christmas-themed rides, there's the Speedway there, and we'll show inside Space Mountain. We're going to get a look at TRON testing at night with the vehicle all lit up, glowing, going by, which is pretty cool.
I know I've probably said this before. I don't know even if you'd consider it testing, because you would think at this point they'd pretty much be all tested out.
You know what? I think you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's just running, just cycling them over and over. They're probably cycling them just nonstop every day to get that track used to them and make sure there's a very smooth opening.
It's exciting to see it. It's going to be probably a number of months until it until it opens.
Now, we also rode Space Mountain with the holiday lighting, and I'm just going to show you some of that from the People Mover. But I do have a video I did a couple years ago showing from both tracks what it looked like with all this lighting and in hearing the music. Can't do that now, though.
No.
But I was able to do that in 2019, the last time they offered this for the Christmas party.
Yeah, they just said no more cameras and
cell phones. And also like loose items. I have a feeling they've had problems with things flying off.
Yes. And I wonder about a GoPro, if it's like attached.
I'm sure if the GoPro is attached, it's fine. It's not about that. It's just about being safe.
They don't want to lose,
It's about safety. And especially with like for my phone, I have an attachment where it attaches to my wrist. So even if I were to drop the phone, it would still stay. But I wouldn't even try it because it says not to.
Right.
But, I've always made sure my phone is secure when recording a ride. I think that is a wise thing. Now we're going to look at Mickey's Once Upon a Christmastime Parade, and we're going to see some of the scenes that we didn't get to see because both parties we went to were rain parade versions. So this is a clear day. The best part of it is you can see the snow in the background. It really sets the mood, and you have the skiers here actually skiing, which they were just walking around at the two parades we saw on our two previous parties.
Yeah, it was nice to be able to see the parade as it normally would. And here are the Seven Dwarfs. And behind them is the gazebo with Snow White and the Prince. And during the rain parades, all of the princesses were in here. And
it was a tight gazebo. Every princess.
There was like 8 princesses in there. And then you had their princes behind them
on foot.
But I don't even remember the fairy godmother.
There was no fairy godmother. They just had the princes on foot, and they didn't run the mirror parade, and they also didn't
mirror float.
Mirror float. I'm sorry, mirror float, not parade. It seems like a parade. It's such a long float. And also there were no horses in the rain parade. And I love the horses. I think they really make it a special thing to have these little miniature horses. And I think you're going to see Cinderella and her prince in there.
And they're so cute, those little horses. And you can find them at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. If you've never been over there, you should, head over there.
We just talked about going back.
Yeah.
I love going to the stables there. They have a beautiful upgraded stables that you can visit, and it gives you a little history of the horses at Walt Disney World.
And we want to see the Christmas decorations.
Yes, absolutely. Here we go. It is the mirror float. I remember this for so many years. This goes back forever. This is the float. This is the Main Street Electrical Parade of floats at Walt Disney World.
Except for the part, I don't think it
never really blows away.
So it can't be the Main Street Electrical Parade.
But it's still there. It keeps coming back, even when it glows away for a short time. Anyway, you can see all the princes and princess are together on the mirror float, and you have, at the end, you have
the fairy godmother.
The fairy godmother. And we've seen the fairy godmother for many, many years up there wishing us a Merry Christmas.
And I think she's one of my favorites of the parade as well.
Right. So, and let's see what else. Also, we're going to take a look at this float had broken down on the second day. So we didn't get a clear shot of this new section here. This is the Toy Soldiers leading off the Pixar section of the parade.
And they were pretty fast. Like everything was really fast after they came and got that float.
Yeah, they had to tow that thing. And because it took a while to get the little tractor out, the parade was running late. So I've never seen a parade go so fast. The poor ladies, they were running with those bears.
Well, the bears were like dancing around by themselves for like 5 minutes because it was just very interesting. I wish we had been right, next to them.
Yes, those poor bears must have been exhausted. So when we did our show a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned about the Toy Soldiers. If during a normal parade they would be playing their instruments like they did back in 2019 and have the drums that would spin and all that. And the answer to that is no, I don't see any of the instruments with the soldiers.
Yeah, but in Disneyland, they still have that. So hopefully it would be nice to see them with it. I think it really adds to it.
Well, I mean, it was such a great moment, you know, when they would actually play the music. You know, they would go around the corner and you'd hear with the trumpets, da 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 da, and then the boom 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 of the drums. You're right. It was a really special moment. So I would love to see in the future that to come back. Here are the reindeers. Remember the classic reindeers when their tongues were out? We would always talk about those Bill Justice designed reindeers. But I like these reindeers.
These are super cute also, but yeah, I like those ones with the long tongue.
And I'm showing this because it's just the end of the parade and showing the whole effects with the snow and everything. So I really missed the snow on our rain parade.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, didn't we do 2 rain parades?
Yeah, and both of them had not snow. One of them, the first night, the parade got rained out, and they just had a rainy day cavalcade.
Right.
With
we didn't see that.
Right. So I feel now that I have seen the full force parade. You know, the full force.
Yes, you've seen the whole parade now.
Twice. I liked it so much I saw it again. So anyway, that is our third and final Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party. So no parties for us until August, when it's time for Halloween 2023.
Yeah, I can't think
It'll
about
be here
that right
before
now.
you know it. So anyway, believe it or not, that is another show.
That's another show. Thank you to our sponsor, MAI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. If you're looking, also they are Universal specialists as well.
Universal Fan Travel.
Yes, so if you're looking to have a trip that includes both Walt Disney World and Universal Studios, they can do that. And any cruise line, they really can do it all.
Yeah, you mentioned cruises. I mean, they're really big on cruises, all cruise lines.
I feel like Becky is living on the, a cruise ship lifestyle right now, because it feels like she has a new cruise like every week. I mean,
not now that she's on land here in Orlando of all places.
I didn't even notice that. But, there's a lot of research that has to go into when you have a travel agency, and, she and the travel agents do that.
So next week we will be having Christmas at Disneyland Paris and at Disneyland and Anaheim. I have lots of footage from that from our good friends out there. Plus,
you're talking about the show. Like we are not having Christmas, unfortunately.
We will not be there, unfortunately.
I wish.
But maybe next year. We're already discussing that. Maybe we'll go to both of those places if we can next year. So anyway, we will also anything that comes up during that time, we will also add that to the show. So thanks again for listening. Have a great week. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.